Good morning, and we're going to continue our study of the timing of the rapture, or when will the rapture take place. And first of all, it's imperative that you and I have a good understanding of the fact is that there's many reasons for the rapture taking place before Daniel's 70th week, or some people refer to it as the tribulation period, but as I've mentioned many times, it's really referred to as Jacob's trouble, or Daniel's 70th week, because it's actually a 7-year time frame that is still left to be fulfilled with Yahuwah dealing with the nation of Israel, or Yasharel. Now, we're currently living in the times of the Gentiles. And as the Apostle Paul wrote about in Romans chapter 11, that until the fullness of the Gentiles come in, that blindness in part has happened to the nation of Yasharel. Most of the end time confusion as far as the end time events and the timing of the rapture is all tied in to people not properly understanding that there's a major difference of the church and the nation of Yasharel. Now, the church did not replace Israel. And in fact, you take the opposite end of that. A lot of people are confused, thinking that a Gentile has to become Jewish in order to be saved. And of course, that's been a problem all down through the centuries, where people have confused these groups of people, which our Creator Yahuwah has designated a time for the Gentiles of the nations that salvation would be offered to them. Now, salvation came to the Jew first, and Yahushua himself said that he had come not but for the lost house, but the house of Israel, and that he came to them. But because of their rejection of the Messiah, then salvation was offered to the Gentiles, or the nations. Now, once the times of the Gentiles is complete, meaning when the last Gentile that's going to be saved during this time frame of dispensation of what we refer to as the church age, then our Creator Yahuwah is going to turn back to the nation of Israel, or Yasharel, and dealing with them and bringing them to a recognition of who the Messiah is. Now, in the upcoming session, I'm going to go through the 15th chapter of the book of Acts, where Yahuwah makes it clear that he was going to take out among the nations a people for himself. And of course, that's the reference to the church. Jew and Gentile people who would put their faith and trust in the Messiah would be a part of the bride of the Messiah, would be the group of people that he had chosen to live and reign with him in the New Jerusalem forever and ever. Those that would be without spot or blemish, because they would have been given the gift of eternal life. They would experience a resurrected body that would not be subject to sin no more. And because of that, that's a promise that's been given, like I said, to the church and for the church. Now, the rapture was never promised to the nation of Yasharel. It was only promised to the church. And you'll find this in many references in the scriptures. John chapter 14, verses 1, 2, and 3 make reference to this. 1 Corinthians chapter 15, verses 51 and 52. 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verses 13 through 18. And I could go on and on and on and on. There's many, many verses that talk about this time frame of the church being called the bride of the Messiah, would be caught up to meet the Messiah, Yahushua, in the air, and so shall we ever be with him. But see, Yahuwah still has a plan for the nation of Yasharel to bring them to a recognition of who the Messiah. There will be Jews and Gentiles saved during the tribulation period. It's going to be a horrible time for them, Most of them will have to give up their lives for the witness of the Messiah. But those that will endure unto the end shall be saved, and they will be allowed to enter into the millennial 1,000-year reign of the Messiah on the earth. At the rapture, the church will depart this earth forever. We will be caught up to meet the Messiah in the air, and so shall we ever be with him. Now, we will come back to the earth, but it's not going to be our home. Our home is the New Jerusalem, which you'll find a description of it over in the book of Revelation, chapter 20 and 21, that you'll find the description of the New Jerusalem, which is the home of the bride of Mashiach. Now, but the nation of Yasharel was promised an earthly kingdom on this earth. And there was a promise by Yahuwah himself that he would live with them during this time frame forever. And that he would, and that the Messiah, Mashiach, would rule from the nation of Yasharel. And he's going to fulfill both of those promises. Because our Creator is not a man, he's omnipresent. He can be at two places or multiple places at different times. He will live and dwell in the New Jerusalem with the church, the raptured church, with his bride. He'll also be ruling and reigning as the Messiah from Jerusalem, and ruling and reigning for 1,000 years on this earth. So he's going to fulfill both promises, both to the church and to the nation of Yasharel. So it's imperative for you and I to understand there is a difference, and we both have a different purpose, and we all both have different destinies as far as what's to come. I hope this is encouraging you and bringing faith to your heart, knowing that if you're born again and that you have the Spirit, you will not experience the wrath that is to come, and I believe it's coming very soon. May these words comfort you and share this with others. I love you. Yahuwah loves you. And until next time, shalom.